Well, future Zombo here, so this episode is going to be pretty darn long, and unfortunately, I did not have time to enter in all of the actual interaction that I had with Tweedle, and I think there was a little bit with BigRedJeep. I'm going to do that in episode number 2. We had a wild rescue mission with Tweedle. He had died. I went over to help him out, and then I ended up dying a bunch. So that was kind of fun, but we're going to have that in episode number 2. But this episode is basically just focused on all of the stuff that we've done up to this point. Just showing you kind of the layout of the land for us. But yes, Satisfactory Season 2 is multiplayer. Now on with the show. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Zomboland Gaming. I am, in fact, Zombo Skater, and guess what? It's been a long time since we last did an episode of Satisfactory, and there has been, I think, 3 updates, maybe 4, I don't know. There's been a lot of updates since the last time we played. Basically, on our last world, we just got to a point where there was just so much lag. Like, I was trying to deal with making copper powder and a whole bunch of other stuff, and every time I would access a constructor or something like that, it would just crash the hell out of the game. And then the update following that, which I think may have been update 5 or 6, it's been a while, it basically put trees and foliage everywhere inside all of my factories, which was, awesome for game development. I mean, it really freaking, they have made this game come alive with the world. However, though, it ruined most of our factories. We knew it was coming. They've done a Coffee Stain Studio has done a great job about making sure that they tell us what's coming in the updates and where we probably shouldn't build just because that environment's going to be changed. So that aside, I kind of took a long break from it, and as you've seen on my channel, done many games since then. However, I was dying to play a couple weeks ago. And so I got with a couple of my friends who, one, you can see is currently online. We can see his name right there, Geramorph. And then we've also got BigRedJeep who are playing. And so what we've decided to do, and I'm going to show it on screen here right now, we've split the world up into 3 parts. Jeremy is going to take the desert, the whole desert area. BigRedJeep is going to take basically the whole middle section, starting up kind of in the oil in the north, going all the way down kind of in a diagonal tunnel all the way down to the swamp area. So he's going to be in charge of all, like, most of the aluminum production. And then I'm taking the entire rest of the area all the way on the west side. But currently, I figured, you know what, let's start over where Geramorph and I started a couple weeks ago. As you can see, we're getting ready to complete phase 4 of the space elevator, and we're up into tier number 7, so we don't have to worry about going back through all of the stuff. You guys saw all the way up through most of this in my original videos. None of this has really changed. Some of the recipes have changed a tiny little bit, but for those of you who have never seen Satisfactory ever before, this is basically Factorio in 3D form. It is a factory automation building game, so you make all your pieces and parts, and you can have conveyors going from miners to constructors and assemblers to make all your different pieces of parts, and then go to more constructors and assemblers to make more pieces and parts, to go to blenders and refiners and manufacturers, and then finally into here. So our goals for this are going to be, like I said, here's the images here. So I'm gonna take all the way on the west side, and you're gonna see kind of, this is my pre-thought out idea. I wanna limit the amount of roads that I'm using. I wanna limit the amount of concrete I have covering the entire world. So I'm gonna try and pick specific paths to lead all of the resources to 3 locations. And then I don't know if I'm gonna combine them all together and make one big mega factory that then feeds all of my items over to some central location. Same goes for these guys. I don't know what their plans are, but here's also a list of the resource nodes in our area, respectively, to kind of give an idea of what each one of us players are going to work on. But for the time being, I'm going to take you around, show you what we currently have built, what's currently been going on, and then in today's episode, what I want to try and accomplish is in the very northwest portion of my area, I want to get all 56 of the Mark II miners down, get the belts going all the way out to where I want to get them, and then we need to come up with a plan for our factories. And I think that's probably gonna do it for today, because that's gonna be a whole lot of stuff and things. And then we'll come back and check on Geramorph and BigRedJeep and kind of see what they're doing. So to give you a little background on those two guys, Geramorph just started playing the game about a month ago, so he's fresh and new, learning all the ins and outs of the game. So you can see he's got a bunch of spaghetti, and we'll walk through his area later on. This was my current starter area. I've got a little bit more practice, obviously, with the game, so I already kind of had some design ideas, and a lot of this was built prior to us having a lot of the architecture stuff unlocked. But let's head on through. So I'm using a sulfur node and the coal node here, coming over to this factory in yellow, which I'm going to color all of my weapon making factories in yellow. So we just got a bunch of black powder sitting here. The greenish color is going to be all the iron component related stuff. So we've got over here a basic iron starting factory with plates, rods, and screws. It's very tiny because I'm using, like, I think a normal node of iron. Then we've got our awesome sink, all the business related stuff, the awesome sink, the space needle, the hub. We're gonna color all that with the purplish, and we've actually unlocked quite a bit of all of the tickets. So we've got quite a bit of the architecture stuff and things, because I also want to get into customizing and making roads, making pretty looking factories, and not just square boxes like you can see now. I mean, these are nice and efficient, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's just a square box. So we've got our copper production over here, so we're making wire, sheets, and cable. Coming around the corner, we've got a little concrete factory. I think this is using 240 concrete a minute, or limestone a minute coming in. Coming back around the corner from here, we've got our next level of iron components. So we've got modular frames sitting in the back, and it actually exits from the top down. This factory is making rotors, I believe. Yes, and then this one over here is reinforced iron plates. And then right around the corner, my final factory for my starter area was the raw quartz, making our quartz crystal and silica. And that's coming from back around the corner over here. So yeah, I've kind of tried to already start better off than in the last series, but you know, there was no point in showing you guys all the stuff and things we've already accomplished in previous episodes. The only difference now is going to be that we have other members, and yeah, other members who just spaghetti everything. He's learning. Just kidding, Jeremy. You're doing a great job. You're doing a perfect, wonderful job. So yeah, so Jeremy's actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move a lot of my items. Well, not move, I'm gonna take a bunch of items over to my new area so I can start my starter factories back up again, and then he can either delete all this if he wants to, or keep it, whatever his choice may be, for the needs of his area. But the overall arching goal is, now that we're pretty close to being completely done with all of the tiers, we're not so worried about creating specific factories as much as just making some cool, unique factories. Like I plan on making some giant concrete making factories and some big ass steel factories and stuff like that. You know, very, very, like, you know, not unique, I should say, but something, you know, big and kind of cool looking, and highly unnecessary. So that's going to be kind of the goal. So we're going to try and not double up too much on the different factories, just so we don't have too many components being built all at the same time, causing lag. And also we're going to try and put them to a central community center, so that way we can easily, quickly all go to some place and grab the items necessary for whatever we're building. But yes, we currently have 100 coal generators going on down here from, I think, 4 normal nodes and 1 impure node, and maybe 1 pure node as well. I can't remember how many I have total. All my miners are overclocked over here, and then there's 3 down that direction. But yes, 100 coal generators, so that's pretty spiffy and fan-flippin-tastic. All right, let's go head over to Jeremy's area, and I'll show you his spaghetti going on. All right, we're back at the hub area. So this was our starter kind of little biomass area. Oddly enough, it's been 100-something hours, and we still haven't ran out of this biofuel thanks to those coal generators. The MAM, we are actually complete with alien organisms, mycelia, nutrients, power slugs. We're working our way down to almost being done with quartz. Got a long way to go with sulfur, and oh my goodness, this is awesome. All these new different kinds of rebar, Noblisk, and rifle ammo and stuff, so freaking kick-ass, so freaking cool. Caterium, we've got just a few more going down there, and then we'll be absolutely done. We are using a couple different alternate recipes. I have not actually made factories with any of the alternate recipes for this series so far, but we do plan on doing that, just mainly because we're at a point now where we're going to be able to make just any kind of unique factory, things that we normally wouldn't build in game. So that's going to be really fun to try out some of those. He's got a blueprint maker over there, which I have yet to ever utilize a blueprint maker because that's been since our last episode. So I want to try that out and see if I can't make some cool stuff. I think the refinery system for plastic and rubber, that's going to be super handy for setting up conveyor belt areas. Oh, that's going to be super handy for that. But yes, he set up some hyper tubes going off all over the place. As you can see, he is very fresh and very new, so we're going to ignore all of his spaghetti because, well, he's learning, like I said. So he's slowly changing all of this stuff around as he's learned how to put things together. He's been tearing stuff down and implementing new pieces of parts. But when he decided to join me playing on here, I was at a point where I'd already set up all the basic iron and basic copper. And so we kind of decided, you know what? We're going to go 1 for 1. Like, I'm going to make rotors, you make stators. And then he decided to make rotors anyway, so he's making the motors, so I didn't have to make motors, and so on and so forth. So most of the later stage components, not later stage, mid-game, so he's making the heavy modular frames, encased industrial beams, he's making steel, he's making the motors, all that sort of stuff all over here. He's got like 3 layers sitting here. So, you know, he's pretty much got most of the later stage stuff and things covered. I went and did plastic and rubber. He made himself some plastic and rubber as well. I just did a computer factory the other day, so he doesn't have to do that. So, you know, we've been kind of trying to trade off to limit the amount of factories, but oh boy, this hurts my efficient square soul. Oh, the spaghetti. I do have to admit, it is fun trying to figure out where all his things are, though, because good lord, it's a nightmare. Every time I come over here, there's something new. I think he's making an alternate version. Oh my god, he's making an alternate version of iron over here that requires water. So he's using this water right here to make some alternate iron, which is also making him some alternate steel. So that's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, so this is geramorph's going to be taking over this entire desert. Like if we look at the map right here, he's basically this river right here, to make sure he has 3 things of oil. He's cutting right down here and then right across this little canyon right here where currently actually my computer factory is, but he's cutting through this canyon and then all the way across here, stopping at the swamp area. So that's going to be all of geramorph's area, which is quite big. And what I like about the desert is it has every resource you need, minus the nitrogen, which you have to go up north, minus the bauxite, which you have to go to the swamp, and then the oil up in the north, North Lake area. But once you get those 3, you have everything you need to make every single component in the game, which is crazy. So he's going to have a chance to be able to figure out how to efficiently make everything, which is dope. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head out of this spaghetti that is hurting my eyeballs. I'm going to head over to the North Lake, which is just right up here on the map where it says Tweedle's Oil. We're going to head up over here, and I'm going to show you what we've kind of got going over there, because we're doing the plastic, the rubber. He's got some stuff going on, and we got a fuel generator factory. And then we're slowly going to work our way out towards the west side of the map, which is where Big Red's currently building and where I'm currently building. We're coming in for a crash landing down Tweedle's hypertube. Oh boy, spasms. Yes, and here we have arrived at the first set of oil nodes on the east side of the, what is this North Lake called? I really need to learn the names of all these locations. Let's hide this menu, by the way. So yes, we are currently sitting right here where I've grabbed, I think it's 1 impure and 2 normal nodes of oil. And we've got just a basic refinery set up where we've got one side making rubber, one side making plastic, as you can see right here. And then the HOR, the heavy oil residue, is getting captured inside this line right here, and then coming to these refiners, which I am just making petroleum coke and dumping it immediately into an awesome sink for tickets, which, by the way, look at that. We have 7 tickets. Heck yes. Put those in my belly. Yes, so there we go. So that is the oil for us. And then let's make a quick jaunt over to where geramorph, who's also Tweedle, by the way, so that's why you heard me say both Tweedle and geramorph. So Tweedle is what he actually goes by. But here is his little oil area here. Ow, the zip line is not my favorite thing to ride on. But he's basically done the same thing as what I have done and set up a little bit of oil refinery, which I think he might have some fuel as well. Let's get across this water here. Why video game? Move, let me swim. I want to swim, damn it. Can I have, there we go. All right, so yes, let's see what he has going on. I actually have not inspected this area. I've just kind of ran right by it because, oh, heaven forbid. Look at this. He's got, I'm assuming this is heavy oil residue being made into petroleum coke. Yep. Coming from his refinery setup, which he has very similar to what I've got going on. What has he got going on here? Yep, he's making rubber there. Not as much rubber as plastic, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like he's making way more plastic than rubber because obviously you don't need that much rubber. And good grief. Oh my God, it's a disastrous mess. Yeah, but oh, he even made a lookout tower so you can actually look down upon his dominion. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, so basically he just kind of copied my relative idea, except for since he's making nothing with plastic, he only had to use one set of mergers there to get everything together. That's pretty good. Good job, Jeremy. Good job. All right, and then we'll head across this platform right here. Let's see if I can actually use a zip line again. And then right around the corner over here on this last set of oil nodes, I set up a fuel generator area just to get us a little bit more power, because at this point in time is where Big Red joined us, and I'm actually super stoked at this right here. Hello, hi the water. That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be up here to show people the fantastic little industrial looking bridge I made, and I love noodling. To noodle the pipes is one of my favorite things. Speaking of which, what do I have here? Oh, it's just empty. But yeah, I decided to try out a little bit of architectural stuff and things, and so we had our walkway coming right here. So I made a little bridge here with a little glass so you can see the pipe, and it goes into a wall hanger, and also our power is being completely hidden underneath the ground for everything. And I love it. I think it looks great. So once again, we have a whole bunch of refiners that are just making fuel, and we're taking the poly resin and immediately dumping the poly resin into a awesome sink. And then we've got, what is this? I think it's 27. I think there's 27 generators over here, 27 fuel generators, I believe. Yeah, 18 plus 16, no, 34. We have 34 fuel generators, and we got a whole bunch over here as well. So it's sitting pretty nicely. Like, let me see, where can we grab a power pole? That is not a power pole, that is a pipe stanchion. Here we go. We are currently making 13,000 megawatts of power. Oh yeah, all the power. So, okay, all right, so that is all of this side. Then what I need to do is go show you Big Red, which Big Red is, hey, look, there's my Explorer. Wait, that's my Explorer. Which one of these is my Explorer? I don't know. One of these is my vehicle. This is my area currently where we're working in. Big Red is literally right here. It looks like he built himself an Explorer. So we're gonna head over to Big Red's area. We're starting to see Big Red's area off in the distance there. So what's kind of cool, Big Red, right after I started making my YouTube series on this game, Big Red also started playing, and we actually joined up together, and for quite a few months played on a map together. I think we got all the way up through tier 7. We got quite a ways. We never got to nuclear power together, but we did make quite a bit of progress. And we started to learn a whole bunch of the architectural stuff and things, which was pretty amazing. I don't have any concrete or anything on me. You know what, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna zip line up the power line that I delivered to him. But yeah, so he actually has quite a bit of understanding of how the efficiency of the machines are made, as well as a little bit of the architecture. So it's gonna be interesting to watch him kind of develop some of these buildings. Right now, obviously, he's just making starter stuff and things, so he's just got a bunch of square boxes, but that's gonna change as time goes on, and he you know, gets used to where all his area and whatnot is. Oh God, we're auto-saving. Auto-save lag! Oh God, am I gonna be able to get up here? Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Let's see, is there a way for us to go? Zip line is difficult. Oh, hopefully we can get worm our way underneath his base. Yes, we can. All right, perfect. So yeah, I have not actually been up here to see all of his stuff and things. Let's get up this way on the ladder. He said he's kind of just basically, oh yes, see, look, already, hey, he's right there. You can already see the difference in detail. He's working with the concrete, trying to hide everything behind the walls, making little ramps and stairways. Good job. GG's, dude. This is looking great already. Oh, I like it. Oh, he's even using the little, that's a beautiful detail. Oh, this is perfect. This is really nice. I love the Northwest area. If it wasn't for the fact that everything's way up high and you got to try and figure out how to nicely get everything to your area, this kind of bothers me right here. That's sticking up through the ceiling. No, I'm just kidding. I understand why it does it. But yeah, so Big Red's up here in this area, and like I said, his area is kind of going from all of this north area right here, and then working kind of in a dog leg to the left down here into the swamp where he'll make all the aluminum. Actually, I think I cut it off to right here where these little jutted out bits are right here. That's actually where I drew the line. So it's straight up to this river here and then over. So he's got a pretty decent chunk as well. And then I'm all over this area right here. So yeah, so that's where he's gonna be. It's gonna be cool to come over here and check out everything that he's doing. And it's getting nighttime now, but if we go into photo mode, you should probably be able to see, yep, my first miner for my area right over there. I've been slowly working on, yeah, you can see them all just kind of dotted along the land over there as well. And that's what our goal is today. We've only got one more thing that we need to show, but I think what I'll do is when I go back over to the main base area here later on to go grab some more components for building. Yeah, you can see where I've been trying to figure out where all my paths are gonna go for all the miners. Yeah, all the way out there. Then we'll show the computer factory when we get back over to that area. But for the time being, I'm gonna get into a voice chat with Geramorph, and I'm just gonna grind away getting all these miners down, getting more of the platforms laid out, get the conveyors laid down, get some power rigged over there and up and over, and then we'll come back after all of that. So I shall see you guys in a little while after I have finally made some progress. Good Lord, that is such a cool looking gas giant. Well, so a bunch of days have passed. We're talking like a whole week. Part of that is because I had to work, but also because, wow, why do I do these things to myself? So, yeah, I've been a little bit busy. So, I've gone a little bit overboard here, and, well, I don't know really how to go through this. So, I should have used drones, but we didn't have them available when I started this. I should have used trains, but we didn't have them available when I started this. So, as you can see, here's the image again of kind of my rough estimate of where I was going to try and grab all these ores to and put them on a central line. And let's see, can we get into a higher point? You know what, why don't we just make a ladder real fast? Good Lord, as you can see, this goes everywhere. And unfortunately, I didn't decide to come up with this design right here to merge the offshoot lanes into the central lane till right at the very end, which is absolutely ridiculous. But let's go ahead and make a ladder real fast. Architecture, boom. And as you can see, we have now unlocked pretty much everything. We are on the last step of tier 8 and the last space elevator upgrade. And so now it is on me to make the nuclear power, which is kind of what I'm starting to work on here. Before we can start to get into like the real fun stuff and things. So the goal, like I said with this, is the three of us just kind of want to learn more about what we can do with this game, and Geramorph is going to try and work on learning efficiencies and architecture and putting these factories together. BigRedJeep is going to just continue working with his awesome architecture stuff, and you can see the space elevator off in the distance. That's where Geramorph is in my starter area. And then like right around, I think if we go into photo mode, we might actually be able to see, yeah, so that's part of the start of BigRedJeep's area right over there, and then he's kind of worked his way off that direction. Oh, I think that is his, no, that's one of my platforms, isn't it? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. That might be going off towards his coal generator plant. But as you can see, yeah, there's just a few conveyors going on here. I'm a madman. But yeah, I didn't think about this situation here, using the nice straight belts to get everything merged. And as you can see, I've got these weird, crazy ramps going on. But we've pretty much got every single resource in this top northwest area moved up over here. And then I got a little bit sidetracked because I was excited, and bam! Yeah, I've started designing some buildings over here. So right in this building, I even put little doodads on the top to make it look like it's got, like, you know, satellite dishes and radio towers and whatnot on the top of here. But this right here is making our Caterium, iron and copper ingots. This is not for the nuke power facility. This is just going to be, I need materials here so I can stop running back and forth. So this is making our Caterium ingots, copper and iron ingots, and then I'm just pulling a 480 belt worth of each over. And then the smaller building over here is making 480 steel ingots. And then I'm currently working in the background to make something else. Once again, just starter components. And if I actually pull up my interwebs, we can see here, this is kind of what I'm going to be making in this little starter facility. So I'm going to have nothing but constructors and assemblers in this one centralized building here. And we're just going to be making 5 motors, 5 stators, 4 rotors, 2 modular frames, 5 reinforced iron plates, 6 encased industrial beams, 180 quartz crystal, 300 silica, 130 concrete, 800 quick wire, 60 copper sheet, 300 wire, 150 cable, 60 steel pipe. It's an odd number, yes, 56.625 steel beams, but that's just because I had 480 steel available. So this is like the remaining steel beams from, you know, left over from the encased industrial beams. And then 60 iron plates, 160 screws, and 84.5 iron rods, which is the leftover from the iron rods needed for everything else that's being built. So it's very much just a starter stuff and things factory. But let's go ahead and get on down here now, and I'll kind of take you through these little buildings. So this, I think, is going to be my design process for everything from this point on. Kind of the nuke power plant and anything else I decide to build. I'm using the asphalt for the flooring, and instead of using what do they call them? The conveyor poles, I'm using these standard beams right here, the beam supports. Everywhere around to make it look like it's supporting the conveyors. I think that looks really nice. We're going to go with a white theme on pretty much all of the accent pieces, and I wish it was daytime. But on the front of all these facilities, we're going to use these little inverted triangles to do the coloration of showing what's inside here. So we've got the iron, copper, and Caterium, and the reason the Caterium is gray is because I should say, Mr. BigRedJeep sent me over a hex sheet that had a whole bunch of different presets, and I went through and I entered in all of these presets for coloring for us. And as you can see, Caterium ingot yellow, and then we've got a that's ingot, sorry, Caterium ore, and Caterium ore 2. So when I place these on certain things, the highlight's got to be the yellow, not the gray. So like if we were to look at the conveyors, there is a slight yellow line running right down there. Actually, that is not Caterium. That is limestone. Here's the Caterium right here, hidden behind everything. Wonderful. We can't see it. Yeah, even there, you can see it's just gray. So, and I didn't realize this. The Fix-It logo on the top side of these elevator lifts, no matter if they're pushing or pulling, are upside down on the Fix-It logo. That's interesting. But yeah, so that's the kind of goal. Like over here is steel. So we got the steel, the coal, iron, and then the steel ingot color kind of going on here. And I'm going to take you into the steel facility because it's a little less messy and hectic than this one over here. But you can kind of see these are going to be where my outputs are coming. I'm going to always have kind of like a framing work for the outputs. See, like right here, and then also right here. And these are going to head off over into this building that I'm currently working on. I'm still using, I need to figure out the person's name who I learned the sandwich layer idea from. But his idea is my kind of basis for how I'm doing these. I'm having a sandwich layer and then the actual layer of production in each one of these facilities. But if we come on in here, you can see I have my iron and my coal coming in. Everything is color coordinated all throughout. And then that's just going out your standard sandwich layer. And I love this. Look at this. The cable is completely hidden. I've taken it under the ground everywhere I go, so I don't have to worry about the cable being seen everywhere, including even going into, if we move on upstairs, into where our production facility is, the cable just goes boop, straight up, so we're never going to see power lines in any of our facilities. Not too much. I mean, I do need to take power up to the lights, so like I think if I come right over here, where's it at? Where's the first light is right here. Where is my... Did I really hit the cable on this one. Oh, you're right over here. Here we go. Yeah, you can see the cables just kind of barely popping through the ground there. Unfortunately, you can't put these, you can't put the double wall outlets through a ceiling. I don't know why. I think that needs to happen because that would make things nice and perfect. So I just basically have the single side on the underside of this floor piece then coming up to power all of our lights everywhere. And what I've done in each one of these facilities is, like, say we have the smelter layer here, right? We've got our outputs being merged together with all our steel ingots. They're coming out, and then they're going up. Not on the outside of the facility. They're going up on the inside of the facility. And once again, everything is colored steel because this is the steel area. Just helpful reminder to myself. But then if we come up to the next layer, I kind of made an observation area on each one of these different floors. And then you can come over here and you can actually get access to where the output is going. And this is going to be kind of my idea here with the little foundation, not the foundation, what do they call these? Architecture, yeah, frame foundations. You can see it over there as well. And then we also have a roof access, so we can get up on the roof of every single one of these buildings. And you can kind of see, like I said, I put like what looks like little radars and radio towers and whatnot. And I have ways down to each one of them, just kind of like, you know, as a maintenance man myself, I like to be able to have access to all my machines. So we have like little doors that just go to the output conveyors and whatnot. But yeah, I even did stuff like this. Like if we go all the way over here, you can kind of see, I've got to figure out my design on all of this, but we're going to have these little like tunnels underneath our actual foundations in places so we can actually route materials. So like this is the raw quartz and the limestone coming all the way through this little gap that I've made here using the ceiling hangers, and then they're coming all the way over here because I'm doing raw quartz first. So it's going to come up and then go right up on into the facility. So we're going to come on into this facility, and you're going to see I have all of the storage units for the 18 different materials we're going to be making coming out to here, where we'll actually be able to access them from the central corridor, or we can come through and put a little nice window so you can see the storage units. But we have maintenance access back here. I'm using the industrial storages, just that way I have room to walk around here. Plus, I'm not planning on storing much. Like I said, this is just kind of a facility for if I need some pieces, I need to go grab the parts, I can, for the basic starter stuff and things. And then we're going to come on up here to the first layer, and this is where we'll have our sandwich layer for our raw quartz. We're going to do 8 crystal quartz constructors, or quartz crystal, I don't freaking know what I'm saying. And then 8 silica ones. And then, of course, when you come on up here to this layer, this is where the constructors will be. And then, of course, so on and so forth. And then everything's going to have its input or its outputs routed back down through the outside to get into the facility here. Which actually, you know what I need to do? I should probably move these and use... I should probably use these right here so I can get the output on the side, and then just wibbly wobbly the conveyor in there. Yep, design. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm standing at right now. I have worked out how I'm going to be doing my nuke power facility. We are going to be using all 2100 uranium, and we're not going to use any alternate recipes. I have only ever before made a 10 nuke power facility plant. And I did use alternate recipes, I think, back then. I can't remember if I did or did not. That was like, what, 2 years ago now? There's a video of it here on my channel. But I want to maintain using vanilla recipes for this initial walkthrough of nuke power plants. But that's going to be 105 nuke power plants, so that's going to be pretty freaking epic. You know, it could go up to 252, but, you know, why? Let's just do 105. It's just the 3 of us on here. It's going to be more than enough for all of our needs. Like, I think currently, can I actually access the, nope, I can't access the power from there. Oh yeah, look how I even did this. It looks like that cable is supposed to be part of the street light because it's hidden under the ground. I love it. I love it so much. Same with these conveyors. Look, I took these conveyors and they go into the ground, but nobody can see them. So they're all hidden. I love it. Are we doing one of these half foundations? Bam, there we go. That did not work. That went the wrong direction. It didn't rotate. Rotate for me. Thank you. But yes, I think that looks so good, being able to be hidden with the cable, and it actually looks like it belongs. But I tried to make sure that I left walkways everywhere, and it's not super crowded. We have plenty of room. I mean, obviously on the inside, like if we go over into like stuff like this, there's 3 conveyors coming in here. I mean, that's just obviously crowded. We can't do anything about that. But just the fact that you have, these aren't in the way. The inputs to the facility are not in the way, and they're nicely tucked under and hidden. We can come up into here, and we got all our iron production. And then, of course, the iron is splitting out because this is smelting, and then the output's going up to the next floor here. Up. And then if we come up on here to the observation deck, you can see I have the iron ingot output coming up, and then the copper is smelting from up above, but it's routing down to go this way just because of the way I wanted to make things look. I didn't want to have these outputs all on the outside, and I even got these nice little lights in here. I think it looks dope. And if we come on upstairs again, we've got our Caterium ingots being separated out, and then the Caterium ingots come up here, and these get smelted, and then the leftover copper is getting smelted there. And then if we go up one more layer, which is actually out this door right here, we got our sandwich layer. Oh, no, sorry, this is our observation deck layer, because that's right, we're just making ingots over here, so you can see all our copper ingots and all of our Caterium ingots with a nice color. And here you can start to see the little yellow highlight of the Caterium ingot. I think I really should swap this around just to make it more prevalent of the yellow, but I think they look fine. And then we've got one set of outputs for Caterium and copper coming right here. And then we already saw down below the copper and iron leftovers going down that way. And then, yeah, we've got just like some jump pads and whatnot. I think it's looking pretty dope. I'm really digging this. I think it's going to be really awesome. All these facilities are kind of have the same look, which is going to be some stress off of my mind. I won't have to worry too much about what's going on here. And I just used the beams, the metal beams to go up for looking like support, and the concrete, what do they call these, painted beams? I think it's painted beams, right? Yeah, painted beams for the horizontal ones, just that way I could actually color them. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the down belows. We will be getting into Nuke Plower starting next episode, but this episode we're gonna end off at this point right here, and I will show you the final product of this 18 products at the beginning of the next episode. Anyway, guys, it has been a long week of just grinding and doing all sorts of stuff and things. We'll also go take a peek over at Big Red's and Geramorph's area at the beginning of next episode. Plus, I want to kind of move a bunch of my stuff over here just so that way I can clear up the nodes for Geramorph to use. Whew, we got a lot of work ahead of us, but this is, I'm loving this. I'm digging this. I think this is looking absolutely fan-flippin-tastic. Just with all the windows and the detail work. I know it's nothing like I'm Kibitz or any of those other crazy yahoos that you've seen, but I think for me, it's pretty good. So anyway, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I have enjoyed playing this. Satisfactory is just one of my favorite games of all times. But on that note, I am out of here, so don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment, share with the universe, and I'll see you guys in the next Satisfactory episode. Ta-ta for now. Woo!